Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel today. It's a great fall day here in North Florida, and the skies are clear as you can see behind me, and the temperatures are very mild. Been spending some time out in the yard, and today I'd like to chat with you about the subject of how to live well on a fixed income, and I'd like to say thanks for stopping by. So let me begin with this. Having financial peace in retirement doesn't necessarily come from how much money you have, but rather it comes from how you live and the lifestyle choices that you make. Now, of course, we need enough money in retirement to cover all the bases, right? But you don't need more than enough to be able to live well. Now, like most people, when I retired, I didn't know if I had enough money to feel secure or not, because everyone was saying that you needed $1 million or that you needed $2 million to be able to retire comfortably. Well, I didn't have that, but I was debt-free, which was huge, and being debt-free was a game changer for me. And I also learned something very important. You don't have to be rich to be able to have a great life in retirement. Let me tell you about a personal experience that I had. For the first 8 months after I retired, I put myself on a very, very tight budget to see how little that I could live on. And I mean, it was a tight budget. It wasn't totally restrictive, but it was tight. I just wanted to see how little I could get by on. But one morning I was sitting on the front porch having coffee. It was just getting daylight. The birds were singing, the air was still, and I just had this sense of euphoria and a sense of well-being come over me because I felt totally free. Free from the grind, free from the man, free from everything. And in that moment, it was absolutely magical. And then it hit me. This moment isn't costing me a dime. It isn't costing me a dime. I mean, here I was, sitting on my front porch, enjoying the moment, the birds singing, it getting daylight. I'm not having to leave the neighborhood and go to work and get stuck in traffic. And I was having probably one of the best moments of my life in its utter simplicity. And it wasn't costing me a dime. Now, that was a big turning point for me because I realized then that some of the best moments in life are absolutely free. And so I stopped thinking about how much money I didn't have and started focusing on the life that I did have. And let me say that again. I stopped thinking about how much money I didn't have and started focusing on the life I did have. And I will tell you something, retirement life is absolutely beautiful. And by the way, living on that tight budget for 8 months gave me some important feedback information. I was utterly stunned at how inexpensive retirement life really is. I mean, it really is inexpensive. And because of that, I realized that there was no need for me moving forward to live in deprivation, that I didn't have to live on such a strict diet budget as I was in those first 8 months. And there was no need for me to live in deprivation moving forward. And I was also able to extrapolate this information out for 30 years, and I realized that even without $1 million, I'm going to be quite okay, that I did have financial security. And that was a wake-up moment for me too. So here's 4 lessons that I learned about living well on a fixed income in retirement life. Number 1, I learned how to simplify my life. The first secret to living well on a fixed income is simplicity. Really, it is. Just live a simple life and not an extravagant life. I decluttered some of the stuff in our house and got rid of some things that I never used. I canceled some subscriptions that I didn't even remember signing up for. I learned to say no to other people, meaning I politely declined commitments that would overschedule my time. I unsubscribed from email lists and I cleaned up my social media. I cleaned up my shop and I got rid of a ton of stuff. And as a result, I feel like I'm moving through life lighter now, and my mind feels lighter. And my philosophy on possessing things has always been this. If you put something in a cardboard box and stick it up in the attic, and you haven't looked at it in the last 5 years, then man, you don't need it anymore. It is time to declutter and get rid of your stuff. So what's the point? What I'm trying to say is when we stop buying things that don't matter, then we can finally afford the things that do. Number two, I became resourceful in my retirement, but not cheap. Now there's a big difference between being cheap and being frugal or being wise with your money. I don't, for instance, whenever I go out and buy things, I don't buy the lowest price or the cheapest product. I like to buy once, and I buy smart. I grow a vegetable garden, which offsets our food costs just a little bit. But more importantly, I enjoy it immensely, gardening. In fact, you can see my garden back there in the distance. About 2 days ago, I just got through tilling it up and getting it ready for fall and winter planting. We cook at home more often too, and we can make home-cooked meals for pennies on the dollar as opposed to eating out, and not to mention the fact that it's a lot more healthier. I make home repairs myself, at least the ones that I can. I do small plumbing projects and small house repairs. You get the idea. Now through all of this, I realized that I don't need more of anything. I just need enough to be able to live a good life. The truth is, once I slowed down, I automatically began to spend less money without even trying. Think about it. Think about it this way. If you're on the go all the time, and if you're in a hurry all the time, and if you're getting in your car and just driving all the time, you're going to just be spending more money automatically, and most of it's going to be spent on stupid stuff. You're going to have extra gas costs. You're going to be buying fast food out of convenience. You're going to be making more stops at the convenience store. You're going to be driving by Walmart and say, you know, there's something in there that I need. And I discovered that whenever I finally slowed down, I began to spend less money without even trying. So I just became resourceful in my retirement life, not cheap. Number three, I found a lot of joy in experiences that don't cost any money or they're low cost. Living well isn't about dollars, it's about days. Having your days to yourself. I walk more often now, I read more, I talk with my neighbors throughout the neighborhood. My wife and I spend a great deal of time in the great outdoors, hiking through the forests, days at the beach, going on picnics or canoeing. We enjoy free concerts, riding our bikes. I could keep going, but I spend a lot of time out here in my garden. You get the idea. Being able to enjoy yourself in retirement doesn't mean that you have to have a high price tag attached to your entertainment. Some of the most enjoyable things in life are free or either they're low cost. I discovered that time, not money, but time is the real currency in retirement. Feeling the kind of peace that comes from having your days without any deadlines is something that money simply cannot buy, and that's just the truth. And then moving along, number four, I realized that being grateful made my life a lot better. Whenever I look around at the life that I have and the things that I have, I'm very grateful. Something as simple as sitting on the front porch that I mentioned earlier, watching it get daylight and hearing the birds sing, just made me grateful for the simple things in life. I'm glad that I'm able to live in a good home, and I'm glad that I'm able to have days to myself, and I'm glad that my life is mine. It's been almost 4 years now, 3 years and 10 months, and I still pinch myself from time to time to see if I'm going to wake up from a dream. And what I mean is, I love my life. I really do. And I'm grateful for it. In the mornings when we're having coffee on the front porch, I still have this sense of goodness and well-being come over me. It's been almost 4 years, and I still have that sense of goodness and well-being just roll over me like a wave. And when I think about it, there's very little that I would change in my life right now, even if I could. Retirement has taught me to appreciate the small things, and gratitude is what turns what you have into more than enough. So in closing, if you're living on a fixed income right now yourself, just remember this: it's not about how much money you make. It's about how much you enjoy the life you have. Live simply. Spend your money intentionally. Remember that having time is the real currency in retirement life. And in all things, just stay grateful. That's how you live well, no matter what your income looks like. Well, I'm Ronnie, and this is A Resilient Life. If you've enjoyed the video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button that you'll find down below, and leave me a comment and let me know what you think. Please like and subscribe. I'd love to have you join our online community. Take care, and we'll see you next time.